Hi everybody, welcome back. Okay, I've done something really that you'll probably all think, oh my goodness, why has she done that? Well, it's to learn not to be too precious about your paintings. So the giant painting, what I've done, I've cut it up into squares and rectangles and all things like that. So here's two that I've cut up and it's made much nicer compositions. Look, you can have them any way round. Absolutely lovely like this. These can now be framed and put in frames, or they can be put into my sketchbook. They could be put together and framed as a dick pitch. There's so many options now that these could be. So that's one. I just thought I'd come on and show you. There's another one. You can have it any way around that you want. Just by cutting them down, it's made them an extremely almost good painting, you know, just by not being precious. So here's some of the other ones. I'll just show you. If you put a mount mat over the top, you can see now it's been cut down, the difference that it makes. And you can move your composition around to however you want. You can have it this way around or this way around, this way around. And you can see they've made really nice pictures, lots of little ones, and these could be now framed up and sold if I wanted to, or I can just put them in my sketchbook. Knowing me, I should just put them in my sketchbook because I'm trying to fill it up. And but if anybody wanted to buy one, then I can always take them out of my sketchbook, and that's the thing that you need to be thinking about, you know. You're gluing them into your sketchbook, but it's no big deal. If somebody wanted one, you can just use your knife and just cut it out of your sketchbook if they really wanted one, and then you can sell it. So yeah, so you're never wasting. There's nothing being wasted at all. Here's another one. Look, when you put the mouse mat around them, it just completely changes the picture. Look, and composition. You can have them going this way or this way, whichever tickles your fancy, really. So that's another one. And then it's made another one here, exactly the same principle. Yeah, you can have them whichever way around that you want. I'm liking it more now that it's more cut up, and that's just through playing, you know. I did something on the painting I didn't like, and I thought to myself, you know what, I've had enough of this. And again, as I always say, it's a painter's prerogative to change their mind. So here's another one. Lots of different ways that you can display them, you see. It's entirely up to you. It's what your mind's eye sees. You can move it along, you can make them smaller, you know. You can have little tiny ones, and never throw away bits that I've chopped off as well. I've saved all of these. These can be used for collaging in the future, so don't ever get rid of those. And if you get a really nice one and it's big enough, it could be made into a bookmark if necessary. Look, so that, you know, you're never wasting. It's all, you know. And this was just 2 A1 sheets of paper. So yes, and a little bit of gesso, wasn't it, if you remember? Quite like this one, bit different. I like how it arches in and it sort of gives it movement. And but it can also be done the other way around. Look, showing the blue at the bottom. You have to just use your, you know, your own eye. You might want to have it, say, this way around. If you learn not to be precious about your paintings, this is what I've always been taught, then you're going to have fun. You've got to make it fun. Once it gets too serious, you've had it. So here's another one. Look, you can come across this one. What I don't want to be doing is like putting that ball right in the middle of the picture there, look, because the composition is just not right. It's right smack bang in the middle of the painting, and it's not good. So you need to learn to be able to do this, and to be it's good practice for you, you know, and to hide all that. Look, and see, that's nice composition. Look, it's large on one side and smaller, and all the shapes and things, they're all different, which sends the eye around the painting, and also it gives it good contrast and depth on that far side. You might want to move it over and make it into a smaller painting, you know, or do it this way round. But then it suddenly becomes like top heavy, so you do have to be very, very careful. The two that I did at the start, I really like these. I really like these. I haven't got a frame mat here to show you, you know, what these would look like framed, but these could be mounted on, you know, glued and mounted onto wooden panels, you know, the cradle panels, and then set up, you know, they're lovely. There's the really colourful, they're all the shapes and sizes, they're all different, there's nothing that's the same on there. And even if I wanted, I could even add even more neuro lines over the top if I really, really wanted to. So I do like that one, and I do like this one here as well. I like it because it's open. If you remember at the start, I was wanting to have open space, but you know, it's very difficult when you're doing Neurographic to be able to create space, because you're always going over lines, and so in this case it would be less is more. So yeah, and again you can turn it whichever way around you want. And I mean, I could show you a little bit if you just looked at this top corner here, you can see how lovely it would look framed. But I like the square format of this, that, you know, with them being square, I think that they look really lovely in a square frame. I think that that's what makes it. And then the other idea is, you know, like I've said, you can just pop them into your sketchbook if you want to, and then nothing's getting wasted. I just would glue them in, just getting past the other work. So I've come to a blank page here. These ones are too big. These ones would completely fill it, and you'd still have to trim it down. But again, wouldn't that look lovely if it was stuck in your sketchbook? If you're trying to, you see, if you're trying to gain ideas, going back through your sketchbooks and stuff, it's ideal, isn't it? You know, because you're working all the time and you're moving forward. And this part of the painting was the only part that I actually really, really liked. But that's really good because it's made it that I could stick that in there, because it would give to me something for my next painting. If I could create this area, for instance, or this area, it's this area here actually that I liked. So that's that one, and it's the same with this one. Look, they can just quite simply just go in your sketchbook if you didn't want to be completely precious with them. But if you've got a little frame mat and that would fit, then again that's ideal, and then you can display them like that, and if anybody is interested, they might just buy one. And you know, again, look, you can cut it down a bit further, or you can just put it into your sketchbook, or you can just frame them. So nothing's got wasted by these at all, and I'm really, really pleased with them, if I'm being honest. See, that would look nice just in the middle of the sketchbook, can you see? And gradually, once you've filled your sketchbook, it's quick and easy to do it like this, you know. The taping off experience of working as well, that works really, really well. I might do a little bit of that and show it you, or in a concertina book. But I'm trying to get through this sketchbook. I want to fill it and everything, because it's too easy to leave a sketchbook unfilled, or to fill so many pages, you know. But a finished product, to me, to have your sketchbook completely filled, I think it's nice, because you're gaining things for yourself, you know, and you're making it all really nice for yourself. And then, you know, don't forget, in this very, very start, I decorated the book, and the front and the back, and this suddenly becomes like a beautiful ornament, and you know, and it's something to keep, and it's special. And my husband's promised me a lovely shelf in the studio, and he's going to put that up for me, and then all my sketchbooks can go on there. So it's something, it's a nice keepsake, and it's going to last forever, and then you can pass it down. And I always like to leave this page blank. I don't think that you can get the full experience unless, you know, once you start doing pages next to each other like this, unless you're leaving blank areas, to me, one painting and another painting, they kind of clash, and you can't get the experience of the painting on its own. So that's why I do it like this, so that yeah. Here's a good example. You see this painting here, you know, it's hard not to look at this one, and same vice versa, because together that they would clash. But the idea is, you know, to in my eyes, is to keep them separate like this. And then if ever you want to do any writing, you can do, can't you? You can write the date, you could do it in fancy writing, you could do it as a bit of a journal. But if you was doing writing, that would be okay, because that's not exactly going to clash with your work, is it? So that's the idea. But look at that, I love that. It's so bright. In comparison to the last ones, you can see the improvement already. And don't forget, I'm improving all the time as well. You can see, look, the vibrance in the colour. This is the same colour that I've used here as in here. And you can see the difference in the colour. So, and how much more vibrant this is, and how much more, you know, it looks 3D, doesn't it? This does too, but you can see, and then you go to the warmer colours, and then they're coming forward, even though that they're paler. So you have to think about what colours that you're going to be putting together. And yeah, so that's another one. And here's another one that probably have that this way around, but you learn as you turn them round. And if you're not happy, you can still cut them in half again. And you know, another idea is as well, if you did want to mount them next to each other, a nice thing that you can do is you can cut down your strips, make them smaller like these ones are, the ones that you've cut out. You could have them on the next page, couldn't you? Like this. And that on its own is a nice, almost look like trees. Yeah, so that's another idea. You might want to fill the whole, but you could cut these down into little tiny pieces this big, and just use those pieces and try and create a picture. So you're not wasting anything. Nothing gets wasted with me, because things are too expensive in art. You know, we spend a lot of money on our art things, and so I try to make the most of everything that I can. I've got a hair stuck to that, you know, just to give myself permission, really. And yeah, just that looks nice. That's quite effective on a page. It might be that you want to put something completely different across it, like this, look. Yeah, but again, you see that if you're having a double open spread pages, unless you're doing it from just a learning point of view, you're showing the bits of colours that was actually in your painting and some of the mark making that you really enjoyed. But on the other hand, you take, if you're using this, and as you're flipping through your book, you're taking away from looking at this. And this is what I want you to look at. I don't want you to look at that. I want people to look at this. And that's how I see it. And here's another part. Here's another one. Wasn't over thrilled with this right from the start, so, but cut down, I suppose it looks okay. It had got, there was just something about it I just didn't like. I don't know what it was. I liked these big lines coming down here, because they almost look like drips. And I did like that, and I thought to myself, yes, that would be nice if I did do some baubles again, that you could do some drips coming down over the top of them, and then neuro them together with the connections and things. But don't forget, the main thing about all this is it's neurographic art, but it's with a difference. It's got a twist, because it's mixed in with my own art. But whenever I'm doing the neurographic lines, it's that gives me the healing, the well-being, the relaxation, the enjoyment, you know, the calming down. And that to me is what it's all about. So I'm going from a heavy day at work and everything's been like, oh, you know, frantic, and then you come home and then it's the evening, I sit down and start doing my neurographic art, and I start off feeling all hot and bothered and frustrated and everything, and by the time that I've joined up some connections and things like that, I'm feeling calmer. It just does something to the brain, and it's just such a lovely feeling. But this was one, working on this, it's taken me, I think it's taken me 4 weeks to do this big picture, because I put a lot of art into it as well. And if you look at this closely, you can see it's got a lot of marks in it that the camera doesn't pick up. A lot of runners and can you see? And marks that I've actually put in just here and things, and you know, and how the baby wipes have wiped it away, and how it's all run into it, and it's just, and splatters and everything, and which adds movement to them and things. And it's just a lovely way of mark making in your art. But the neuro lines are giving you that beautiful, as I say, relaxing feeling, and that's what I'm enjoying. So if I come to a blank page then, and then I wanted to add my bits and bobs, I could cut them up, I could make them smaller. But I think I would only do these kind of in, like I said, you can make up a new picture. You could either just fit them all together and see what comes from that. It's a nice way of working. Cut them all down to the same size, and suddenly, you know, you've got other, it might be that I want to put a little bit of that in there, and there's so many things that you can do. So yeah, I thought that I'd make the video, and I would and show you how I've cut up a giant painting. Normally I'm quite famous for just getting a painting and throwing it across the room, or because I'm so frustrated with it, or I'll go outside and I'll burn it, or I'll rip it up. If it there's all sorts of things that I do with my painting. And yes, so or another thing that I do is just get the large painting and I just literally rip it all up. But it's never a waste, because you can put them all back together in different compositions, and this is how you learn. You can't learn by just being too over precious and trying to make a pretty painting every time that you do it, because it's too frustrating. You want to be able to do it through play. I've always been taught to do it through play, you know, and look what you can achieve. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 lovely paintings that you can either sell, you could photocopy them, you could make them into cards, anything that you want. It's great fun. I'm going to show you the taping off exercise, which I did on a course once with Louise Fletcher, and but I'm just going to do it in a slightly different way. We'll do it with some ink and things, and then we'll do some neuro over the top. So, all right, talk to you all soon. Hope you found this interesting. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and comment by, you know. I'm also on Susie's Art on Facebook. If you want to pop over to there, you can. If you send me a friend request, I'll then send you another request to go on to Susie's Art, and you can post me some of the paintings that you've done. I'd love to see them. So okay, so take care and bye for now. Bye.